Hey everyone, I'm the Carlster. Welcome to my channel. Um, Grandpa Raymond's sitting over here, and say hi, Raymond.
Hi, nice to
There.
see you.
Yeah, even though he can't see in here at all, which I can. Um, the, um, I'm battling a cold, all because of one person. One person was walking around here and got most of us sick, except for Raymond, and I think Nancy's fine. But me and Warren and um, Steven and Steve and Todd are all sick. All five of us are sick. Oh, six. Me and John. All six of us are sick. All because this one person decides they're going to go walking around, and it's like, oh, come on. And one of the rules around here is that we have to stay in our room. Well, see, here's the problem. We're human. We all get bored. And it's hard to sit in your room all freaking day long and you feel like you're gonna go out of your mind. So anyway, excuse me. Anyway, so I heard there was a train crash out in Washington today. I'm not sure what happened, but um, it's I guess it was Amtrak, and you don't hear very much about Amtrak crashes hardly anymore. Um, you used to hear about them all the time, but not so much. I think there's been a safety thing enacted for trains now that I think that you don't hear very much with Amtrak because I think Amtrak's pretty safe now. Um, well, unlike this last crash, but anyway, so I just hope everything's gonna be okay out there. Um, anyway, so I remember one time the power went out here, and I was uh, in my room, and it was freaking freezing. Like I could see the condensation from my breath coming out of my mouth, and it was freaking scary. And so, um, and then because of that, I ended up getting pneumonia. Now, for those of you who've had pneumonia, pneumonia is no fun. Um, what ended up happening was my chest was hurting really bad, and and when you have pneumonia, it 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 you, it's hard to breathe. And so what they had to do was they had to evacuate the building because it was technically unsafe for us to be here because we had no power and we had no heat. So I had to go stay the night at my mother's house, which I hadn't done in a very, 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 very long time because I used to live in her house, but I don't anymore. And so so I got there. They had the refrigerator plugged into the generator. They had the other refrigerator plugged in the generator. They had the furnace plugged into the generator. And it's like, how in the world did you do that? I didn't even know you could plug a furnace into the generator. Um, Not a gas generator, anyway. I know you have those generators that you have hardwired into your house that will give you electricity, but I did not know that you could plug a regular furnace into a regular gas generator. So, I stayed there, and it was right around Christmas time, so I got to open Christmas presents in the dark. So, for those of you who have never tried to open up Christmas presents in the dark, let me tell you what, it's not easy. So, my mother lit some candles. That helped a little bit, and then she opened up the blinds because they have this big window in their living room, and so she opened up the blinds so I could see a little bit better. And um, after that, uh, we sat down and we ate KFC. So who knew that you could have Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas? I thought that was very weird. Um, but yeah, and you know, I didn't realize that I had pneumonia until the week after I stayed at my mother's house. And what had happened was I ended up going to the hospital by ambulance because I couldn't breathe. And I got to the hospital and they took chest x-rays and they said that my one of my lungs was filled with fluid. So then they uh hooked me up to a bunch of different things like medications. They had me on potassium. They had me on all sorts of antibiotics, and then they come back and they ask me, "Are you okay to go home?" I'm like, "I thought you had to stay in the hospital when you had pneumonia." Well, they sent me home. Um, and then I got worse, and me, not thinking very well, should have went back to the hospital. Instead, I go to my family doctor and tell him that I have pneumonia and so on and so on. And then he prescribes me this um, cough medicine that supposedly is to kick the pneumonia's butt. Well, that didn't work out so well. So then he put me on an antibiotic on top of the cough medicine, which the cough medicine was going to make me sleep like crazy. And the cough medicine was $50 because my health insurance wouldn't pay for it. So um, then what ended up happening was um, I had to make numerous doctor visits because my doctor was literally worried about what's going on. So finally, we got this thing out of me, and um, what had happened was when I was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, they said to the people at the hospital, "Oh, he just has a cold." Um, hello, you have me on oxygen, and you can't hear all the congestion in me. Hello, something's not right here. It's not just a cold. Something's going on. My chest is hurting because I have all this fluid in my lungs. It's so the doctor. I told the doctor what they said, and oh, the doctor was not happy. The doctor was not happy with the paramedics at all. So they called my mother, and they said, she said, "What's going on?" And I told her, I said, "I have pneumonia." And she said, "Okay, well, if they release you, you need to tell me when you get out, because I'm picking you up. You are," she said, "you are not going to stand at that bus stop if you have pneumonia." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, mother, I know." Um, and so she picks me up from the hospital, and of course, she sees how sick I am, and she's immediately starting to think, why didn't they keep you in the hospital? And I said, I don't know. So I really didn't know why, they didn't keep me in the hospital, which they should have. Um, uh, I don't know exactly what hospital protocol is when it comes to things like pneumonia. I think maybe it has something to do with the severity of it. Maybe. Um, I don't know. Uh, Sorry, excuse me here for a second. Um, so in result of me being sick, since that's the theme at the moment, I have been addicted to watching this thing online about infectious diseases and how badly infectious diseases can get, like West Nile virus and um, uh, malaria. And I think then there's like something like that. Another thing you can get from mosquitoes, which I think is called dengue fever. Um, and then you have encephalitis and all sorts of nasty, lovely things. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, you can also get things from foodborne illnesses. You can get things from food. So that is exactly the reason why I've quit going out to eat. I don't go out to eat hardly anymore, and it's because I don't want to get sick from eating somebody else's food. That's not something I want to do. Oh, look who just finally entered. It's Uncle Steve. Say hi, Uncle Steve. See, he says hello. So, so yeah, I hate being sick. Nobody likes being sick. So, um, word of advice: if you are just one person in the household that is sick, do not go walking around your house all day long, because then you're going to get everybody else sick. And it's no fun. Yeah, all it takes is one person, just one person, to make everybody else sick in your house. Yes, it's no fun. Yeah, um, Uncle Steve at the moment looks very miserable. So, um, I think I'm going to get off here now, guys. I hope all of you have a good rest of the week. And please try to keep yourselves healthy and try not to get any colds, because the cold that's going around right now is bad enough. Um, and and they're saying that the flu shot is not going to work very well this year, because there's a strain of flu going around that is very bad. So, constantly wash your hands, um, constantly take vitamins, and do whatever you need to stay healthy. So, um, this is the Carlster signing off, and I hope all of you have a good rest of the week. Bye, guys.